Wake up, it's a brand new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling heavy, you're not alone. Come take five, you're in the zone. Voices come, hearts that care. Two good friends always there. The sunlight in your mind, peace and hope you're sure to find. We'll take CJ and Jester, talking truth, in pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon, we're holding space just for you. Take that, take your time. We're here to be in your mind. Take five, you're not alone. See, they and Esther bring you home. It's
Good morning, Zuneda, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, North America, Asia, Africa. Good morning to the whole wide world that we live in. Say good morning to all humankind. Good morning to all our Take Five fans. And good morning to you, Jester, and how are you?
Okay, I'm doing fine. Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners and viewers of this Take Five for yet another Tuesday on the Mental Health Show.
And let me say good morning to Williams Broadcasting at 107.5 out there in Granitown. And while you're at it, let's say good morning to that big guy that lives on the hill in Granitown between what do you call it again? Between the puff, what do you call that?
1910.
1910, the heights. Like when you're taking off on your jet plane, you're between the heights. Junior, good morning to you and all as well. And let me also say good morning to Lorna Bain, Jenny Mason, Daphne Dent, all over in Toronto. I had a chance to game 97. Good morning to you. Good morning to Wendy. Good morning to Sherry, what is it, Sharon, St. John Phillips. Good morning to you. Good morning to Aito. Good morning to the assistant dean, what's his name again? Ted. Good morning to Marvin Katz. Good morning. Good morning to each and every one of you out there in that Big Apple. Good morning to Alban Harris. Hope all is well with you. Duchess, good morning. Good morning to Caitlin Hallie Douglas. Dudu, I know that you're working this morning, but I'll send a good morning to you. Based on your sister, you will be talking soon, so good morning to you. Good morning.
Is that Dudu?
He went back already.
Oh,
Yeah, when you
okay.
saw me Saturday with him, then he went back the next Saturday. Good morning, coffee in the morning. Bernadette Abraham, good morning. Hope you had a great time on your B-Day. Tomorrow is Kenro's birthday, Jester. So you could sing happy birthday to Kenro.
Singing on it. Fancy.
You can sing, okay.
I only could sing in karaoke.
Well, singing to make that karaoke and sing.
No.
Okay.
You come on, you like to say happy birthday to you in advance, that I'll say for sure.
So, good morning to Kenro. Hope all is well with you. Good morning, Bandy. Pat Pear, good morning. Good morning, William Pear. And Hobby Pear, good morning. SVW, good morning. Good morning to Buddy. Hope you're feeling much better today. And here comes Kenro. Good morning, Kenro. How are you? Hello?
Hello,
Good morning.
good morning.
How are you?
And how is you?
We're good, we're good. We're just waiting for you to start up our day with chorus.
Charlie people.
Yeah. Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mikey.
So go ahead when you're ready. She wants to know how you're doing.
I'm doing fine, Kenu.
Okay.
So go ahead when you're
This
ready.
morning, I already know.
Go right ahead.
This morning, blessed Lord, we give you thanks. Father, we give you praise. Father, we glorify your name because your name is worthy to be praised. Without you, we cannot live. Without you, we cannot do anything of our own this morning. I bring the country before you this morning, Lord. But I remember Grenada is in your hand this hour, Lord. But I remember the four corner of Grenada. I remember the bounding center this hour, blessed Lord. Not forgetting carry quantity matching this hour, blessed Lord. But that's why you cut in and give that country a peep down below this hour, Lord. Father, guide it and to protect it this hour, blessed Lord. The entire force I bring before you. Fire police station this hour, blessed Lord. Remember the SSU I bring for you. Remember the RRU. But I pass by the camp with the so please keep them in the act of safety this hour, Lord. But I bring our workers here and everywhere before you this morning, Lord. Father, guide and protect each and every one. Bless him, though, be so pleased. My God and my Redeemer, this our blessed Lord. What could I tell you about you children? We are your sheep in the pasture. You know each and every one of us about our different vices. But I look down upon us this hour, Lord. Leave us not alone, but still support and comfort us. Father, the Bible says, riding fast and pulling each and every hour. And the bud may have a bit of things, but so shall be the flowers. You are the rock in the weary land. You are the one who shelter all the children in the time of storm. I bring the youth before you. Remember the youth this morning, blessed Lord. But I wherever they sit down plotting, Lord, go in the midst of them and break, let them be hammer of love and bring down the stony heart against what they plot in this hour, Lord. Father, some are sick and some are sad and some are lost the love they have. But this hour, blessed Lord, look down upon them, guide and protect them. Change your water into wine and make them what you want them to be and not what they want to be of their own. This hour, Lord, the adults I bring before you each and every one, Father, the sick and afflicted one, those in the hospital and those in the home this hour, Lord. Look over each and every one of them, take them in charge. I bring the nurses before you, I bring the doctors, I bring all the workers before you this hour, blessed Lord. Father God. When it's day, they cry for night, and when it's night, they cry for day. Pain rocking the mortal body, this our blessed Lord. God, take each and every one of them in charge. They are your children, this our Lord. Remember the country again, this our Lord. But I bring the workers on that radio station before you. But I know each and every one of them, bind them together like one glass stick that cannot be broken. But I provide for them. Lend them the hammer of love to love each other, Lord. My God and my King, I bring Jester before you this hour, Lord. But I you me left behind. Keep it in the act of safety. Pass by each and every one of them in the home. Remember CJ this hour, blessed Lord. She home she left behind. Guide it and protect it this hour, blessed Lord. But I bring the whole world before you. Each and every worker here and everywhere. I bring them before you this hour, Lord. But I know the school children at home. But I guide them and protect them. But I know they stubborn hearted. But oh God, remember they're going out and they're coming in. Remember each and every one of them. Some of them, Lord, them on own job. Guide them and protect them. Send someone to guide and to protect them this hour, blessed Lord. My God and my King. St. Patrick, I bring before you. Father, you know the season and the time we facing, Lord. Father God, remember us in those of mercy. Father, keep us on praying ground and on watchful tongues. We're knocking at your door and let you enter into lament all our sins. Father, please, I'm asking you, Lord, I'm not compelling you to save us from disaster, save us from the storm, save us from each and everything. Those who have lost their loved ones, remember them this hour, blessed Lord. My God and my King, I'm thanking you. I'm thanking you, Lord. My next word of prayer, what I feel to mention, reveal it unto me, not and name, but only in you, Jesus Almighty name. Oh, Father, which art in heaven, holy be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us the days our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from all evil, for thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen and amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Powerful
Thank
indeed.
you for the very coffee one. And thank you for praying for on the safety of all of us. God says at the time that we're living in then, as I said, a very, very active hurricane season that we're having. And it has started already. It just hasn't touched us as yet. And we're keeping our fingers and our whole body crossed that it does not make its
True.
way down south.
Okay, no, you know something?
Yeah.
Huh?
No, I don't know. Me?
You really could pray. Honestly, I'm giving you your flowers now. I ain't going waiting until you're dead to do that. That's serious. And
Thank
your
you very
style
much.
of praying and everything, and your unique way of bringing it. Oh my gosh, trust me, you're right up there.
Yeah, she said.
Thank
There, thank you.
Yeah.
She's
you
my
very
plus want to
much.
think we are special and unique people.
Let's stop it.
Okay.
My mom.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kendra, and we'll chat soon. Take care.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
then, bye.
Yeah. Lovely.
That's just so this was
Mhm.
for us, She does her thing.
Yeah, man, in that very unique way.
Yes, she does. Let me continue saying good morning. We're going to say good morning to Coffee in the morning. Hope all is well. And let me say good morning to JG. You know who you are, sis. Hope all is well with you. And I know I'm saying it early this morning for you to take my head out and say good morning to everybody.
JG.
Yes, I'm sitting down there and I'm waiting.
Who's JG?
JG. That she knows who she is. Yeah,
So
because
that means you don't want people
oh, that's the way I call her.
Well,
She calls me CJ, I call her JG, that's it. But she knows she is.
JG.
JG. Or sometimes I just call her G. Or sometimes I just call her J. So, yeah, we good like that. So maybe she might call this morning to give you a hard time because she says, I don't know what's going on with you and Jester, but it's only good for yourself. That's what she was always saying. Only good for yourself. Nobody should put them all between you and Jester because I never see anybody abuse each other like so. I said, we abuse. I said, I don't abuse the boy. I just say whatever I want and he takes it the way he wants to. But we're good. We're really good. So
Yeah, we good like that.
we have this.
Oh
According, we have it done back. We have it done back.
Oh my gosh. So let me start and say.
Hold on, let me say my last two good mornings.
You started already? Yeah,
Yes.
honestly.
We've got two pips. They're from, both of them are from Jamaica. But they both live in Toronto and they're both back in Toronto at the moment. So let me say good morning to you, Mr. G, and good morning to you, Enrique. So hope all is well and that you're doing fine and the weather is been nice to you guys. Hold tight until I get there and we're going to have the time of our lives. When I get in there, I don't know, but until I get there. Because I know Henry, which is Enrique, is going to be there until the end of July, maybe beginning of August. Mr. Courtney is there until, I don't know, maybe October. So I got to catch them if I can. Not when I can, if I can. So, you know how it goes. So, yes, Jester, go ahead with your good mornings.
Well, the forest is starting with bushes, my boy. Garden bushes with jets, man. That radical. Alistair Aitul Dubois, Winter John, Andy Moose Bartholomew, the Glynn family out there in Boston. Good morning to you. Leslie Nicholas and his wife, they returned to the US yesterday, and I know they returned. They did get back safely because I had spoken to his son this morning.
All right.
So thank God for that. Yeah, the Hill Street people. Special good morning. I saw Celia somewhere along yesterday, but
yesterday was Monday.
Not to. Oh
You
yeah.
see her every Monday. Don't you
Yeah,
get
that's right. But not to talk to.
No, but you will see her on Monday.
Yes, she just eluded me and just disappeared after a while. Yeah, that's what went on. Well, it's Claire out there in Maho. Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to Miss Gladys out there in Madis. Also, Patricia Bissessa, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Dooms. I don't know if you're listening. Dooms is here,
I heard. And maybe I called Dooms and I didn't even know it's Dooms because I've been here forever.
And Dooms said he has been here since April.
Yeah, I know he was here since April.
And it's when I tell you the same Dooms, it's just actually his beard has gotten white. That's all. Okay. He hasn't changed. Same humor.
Okay. We'll be sure listening. Good morning to you. Yeah.
Now you're speaking of Dennis John, aka Dooms. I tell you, the same Dooms.
Well, some people don't get cold. You hear that? Some people, we're close to the ground. We don't get cold.
And not just that, you're speaking of his physical appearance, but in terms of all the old talk and that. You know how he used to behave. Yes. Same. Yeah, I gotta make some time to see Dooms, right? Yeah.
You don't make time for anything as a matter of fact, more than I don't go and listen to the calypso and that you make time to go and listen.
You're only talking about the soca, the evaluation process that's over for the power soca, right? It started off on Thursday and ended on Sunday. So over 4 nights. Sunday. Because he had approximately 120 artists. And this every year that comes, the numbers increases.
And what about the vibe?
Well, in terms of the quality, the majority of people are I'm complaining, man, about the quality, you know.
Let me tell you this,
So,
Jester. When you get good vibes from Crazy and Kitchener and wherever this song play, your body just moving by itself. When you hear this thing that these people and them singing, they stand up and they're asking, what is that? Serious, what is that? Because that nothing in it makes you want to move or makes you want to sing or make you want, because it is pure TRB.
yeah, but if you ask me personally,
I am asking personally.
or my personal, in my personal opinion, I probably feel if I had to advise Spice Mass, probably do the evaluation process
Before?
a bit different, you know, in going through that stage, you know, to because really and truly, if you ask me, I really don't feel that some of them was really ready yet, you know, being on the stage and having
So
to
let me
portray
ask
that
you.
to the world, you know.
Let me ask
I'm
you,
just saying
do they have to pay
from
to
my
get in there?
personal point. Yeah.
Do they have to pay to
Yes, yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
I mean,
Small fees.
money,
You have to pay to get
I mean, if they're getting the money, then
yeah,
what you're saying, that's your thing of
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
they have to pay to register
Okay.
this. You know.
But if you have to vet them, then a lot of
Yeah,
people because
I
fast
believe
go
it
bust.
is. Really.
So,
I don't know,
but
but
you
then
see the
then again,
the walls have dropped.
you're looking at the quality, you know, to portray out there. But it is what it is, and
Yes, as they say, syllabi.
we have passed that hurdle. So 31 of them has now been selected to go to the semifinals.
Okay.
Right?
And is it good 31 or 31 yeah,
Is the best.
mediocre?
Is,
The best of the
is the
best?
best, generally speaking. You know, really and truly, the feedback from in a general sense from the public, I believe they accepted it well.
31.
Yeah, because they know it's not an easy job for the judges, really and truly. Okay, well, you would realize that, you know,
So,
having to go through that evaluation
so let me
process,
ask you
it's
something.
really not easy.
If I come on
And
the stage,
everybody cannot go, understanding
right.
that first and foremost. You only have to select just around 30 thereabout.
So let me ask you something. If I decided I'm going to sing whatever they're singing, I don't know what it is. It's so called that. What is it called?
It also can.
So, and I come on the stage and you hear me, what I say doesn't make sense, has no vibe, nothing. Can you say no judgment for Claire?
No, we have to
Very good.
judge. We have to judge.
Well, to judge by judging means no judgment.
Well,
You're
there are different points to judge you according to what you're portraying. So yes, yeah,
very sad.
that's how it
You know,
is. What they've been judged on lyrics, melodic structure,
what is it like say that?
arrangement, performance, originality, and crowd response. You know, so
Wow.
and there is a huge, you know, so.
So let me say also good morning to Kathleen Leglow. We didn't say good morning to her yet. She hasn't checked in as yet, and she will check in later on. If I forgot anybody else as we go along, we will say good morning to you. I see you're wearing your FIFA shirt, and the football world has lost
Yeah,
two brothers at the same time, and the world is going.
I know for sure they go Jota. He plays for Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's from Portugal.
Yes,
You know,
it's Portuguese.
yeah, Portugal. So he had a number of big stars in that funeral on Saturday, about like the Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo.
I know, the thing is when you see big man cry, you know that everybody has feelings and people
really,
men
really
can
sad.
cry.
He
Yes.
died in a car crash.
Yeah, but he and his
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. So the international football fraternity has been rocked by that sudden passing of
But you see the
Diego
thing
Jota.
about speed, we have to learn when we are behind the wheel to respect that road that we are in front. Yes, you may have a fast car, and yes, it has power, and yes, it has this. But sometimes we really and truly are not in control of it because they're saying that it's a tire that blew, and they couldn't even get to them because they just went, beyond. And it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes the comments come up on your phone and stuff like that. And yes, he's an international star, and everybody knows. But somebody made the point. Yes, we are sorry that he died. But there are people that lose their loved one every day. And why are you making such a big hoopla about him and his brother? And sometimes you take it, you take it, and people will be upset at it, but it is true. Because just there are times that you take your son to school. I take my daughter and my son to school, and nobody really cares if I take them to school or not. And then there comes Catherine Zeta-Jones and J-Lo come with their children, and cameras are everywhere. I know we are not starting so much. Everybody is people, and we do the same thing. So we are the ones that cause these things that happens to happen.
Clay, there are certain things that goes on in the world that we have no control, and it will never change. That it will just continue to remain like that. The thing is, once you're a big international star, yeah,
what makes you a star?
Well, you've been considered a star when you do certain things at the highest level, and you excel. It's like you're up on a pedestal.
Who put us on the pedestal then?
Well, of course, the fans and true one's own hard work and development, because he didn't get to that level by just exactly sacrifice.
I'm not against that, I'm just about the point somebody made.
No, I understand that. I understand.
I mean, when they work hard and they get their thing together, yes, they do well and everything like that, and I'm happy to hear. I'm happy for that. So it is a thing, but it's very sad for a mother to lose both her children in one day, one shot.
I know
it's a terrible thing.
That is not easy
at
all. So what else happened on the weekend, Clay? You had carnival lunch in St. Andrew, right? Granville Town. Yeah, I think we had a wonderful turnout.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh yeah, Granville was that. What night is that? Was it Saturday night?
No, that was on Sunday.
No, but Saturday night they were jamming Tivoli.
Oh yeah.
And just I don't know. Let me say my thing on that. I have people are going to do whatever it is that they feel like doing, but I'm not sure if, as the Prime Minister made the comment that we launch a bit too early, that everybody just go to the extreme and say you cannot tell us, because I heard a guy on whatever platform said when you wanted us to vote for you, it was okay for us to play job, and so now that you get where you want to tell us when to play job. So you cannot tell us when, how, what. He gave me all the things. You cannot tell us what to do. We'll do whatever we want. And I look at it as we have become a very, very lawless nation. Because regardless of where yesterday I was in St. George's and there was a lone jobby black from the top of his head to the bottom, he's shining as glass. In the heat of the day, you're playing job every weekend. There is job everywhere. And to each his own, as I say. But I think we have lost what the sense of moral means to each and every one of us.
Okay, the thing is, I am just so disgusted by the way the things just happening. Anybody feel at any time they could just block up themselves in oil and play job, because, and the thing is, amazingly, I was going to George on Saturday, and already running a bit kind of late. And when I reached in Tivoli, I had to be held up because of this jab, and that made me more upset, because I know these things should not be going on. And the fact that the carnival would be launched in St. Andrew, which covers their area, the following day. I mean, what?
What really irks me more than anything else, Jester, is the language that is being said out there in the job.
I not knew that.
And the little children are in the band and they're using that. And then you want to come and beat me up Monday morning when I let it go back on you. You want to go and you take me there and having me say it in the job. What you say? That is culture. That is it. I rest my case on that. Yeah, let's move on. So it is Tuesday. It is 10:25. This morning we have the name of the program, which is called, or the name of which is Take 5, and we are going to be doing migration. And everybody on planet Earth, or 99.9% of us, Jester, migrated somewhere, somehow.
Well, yes, so, okay, now that we're about to start, so I believe, so migration, it will be slash immigrant. So, and we're looking at it moving out from what would one say is Okay, well, let's look at migration. Migration, first of all, is the movement of people from one place to another.
Not only people,
Well, not only,
but
well,
applies
yes. So, but here we're looking at humans, right? That because that's what it will be based on. All right. So somebody cannot become an immigrant without going through the process of migration. So when you're looking, so an immigrant would now be someone that leaves his or her country and goes to a next one to settle there permanently. In some cases, they may be temporary. Could be
yes.
temporary. You know. So basically, that's unfolding there. The two,
So before
because
we get to
they will be hinge on each other, really.
so before we get to the meat on it, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back and just delve into
Oh, wake up, it's a brand new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling heavy, you're not alone. Come take five, you're in the zone. Voices come, hearts that care. Two good friends always there. Let the sunlight in your mind. Peace and hope you're sure to find. I'll take CJ and Jester. Talking truth and pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon, we're holding space just for you. Take your breath, take your time. We're here to read your mind. Take sugar repair services. We offer digitally calibrated machines, resurfacing engine heads, general machinery. Show us your pattern, and we'll make it with precision machines. At Sugar's Repair Services, we satisfy your needs. Just ask and it will be done. Call us at 473 418 1845. Sugar's Repair Services, located at Lower Marley, St. Patrick.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD content with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Oh, you're looking for that one local supermarket where you can purchase all the grocery and household items at the same time? Well, look further. Smart Buy SA Welfare and Company Limited, located at the top of the town on Main Street, St. Patrick, is the ideal spot. They're open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays, and 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Sundays, just for your convenience. Call them today at 442-9219. That number again, 442-9219. We're shopping snacks at Snack Bar. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. CJ and Jester. Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. CJ.
Again, and we are back to basic. And today we are going to be talking about migration, immigration, you said, and mental health, how it impacts you. And as I said earlier, and we said, every one of us left some time in our lives and go to a different country. Some of us went temporary, we end up permanent. Some went permanent, we come back temporary because we didn't like it when we get there and we decided we're coming back HOME.
So
Some of
even from one parish
Claire,
to another.
you're not welcome in your guest?
I don't guess. That's a guess.
Oh my gosh.
Good morning to you, Roya Charles, and how are you?
I'm good.
Good. And Roya is with us here this morning. We're talking about migration. And maybe, Roya, have you ever migrated?
Yes, I did from one parish to another.
That is migration. That is migration from one parish to another. That is true. That is quite true. So we're going to be talking about that this morning. And as we say, a lot of us migrate for different reasons along the way. And as it says, some go, they come, some come, they go. So it says that a study in Europe suggests that immigrants, including migrants and refugees, because around the world there's so many conflicts in different lands, and people are they're afraid for their life or they have nothing left, so they have to move. And sometimes when they move them to like in big tents and camps and so on, it's like little ants because no country is prepared to take on that amount of people at one time also. So it says refugees, and they say they suffer from they are susceptible to developing mental disorders, example, anxieties, depression, post traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, and we hear a lot about that, and suicidal ideation that non immigrants. So people that are in their country, like we are here, this is home, this is us. And other people say, like from Colombia or Venezuela and different parts of the come here, it is going to be harder for them to settle down.
Yeah.
To the
Sometimes there's a language barrier. Sometimes the culture.
everything. So this is where they say they go through all of this than non-immigrants. And this elevated risk is both attributed to the stresses that immigrants face before or during their migration and exacerbated by the systemic barriers and inequalities. Example, a lack of immigrant inclusive policies and accessible services that they encounter during their settlement and integration. And against this backdrop of growing international migration, and the United Nations aspiration to fulfill the promise to leave no one behind for sustainable development by 2030. It is more urgent than ever to address immigrants' mental health, which has implications for the overall well being of the receiving countries as well as the global health community. So, as we said, migrating. Say I pay my flight and I went to Canada, I migrated from here to Canada. Yes, I had my little things going with me, migrating different countries and so. But this is a different ballgame totally to if I had been displaced by some sort of disaster or some war or something. It is a different thing totally. Mind you, all of us that travel to different countries, we had our mental health issues too. Every one of us. Because sometimes you go to family, they say to you, oh, come over, come stay with me. And so you go and you stay, you spend 2 weeks, well, the water bill goes up, the electricity bill goes up, food has to be bought, which is more money that you have to spend, and they start watching you side eye, like either you get a job or you go home. Which one of us haven't been through that? And then there are those of us that you go there and you think, well, oh, I'm on a holiday, and you're forever on a holiday. You would not get up on your butt and go find a job, anything at all to assist with where you're living. And you cannot blame the people that are living in their residence because you become you hamper in their movement now. Because they have to think twice about everything, and everything in there is doubled. And if they see that you're making progress to help along, you can stay as long as you want. But when you're just there like a dead load,
Yeah, some people are so dependent on other people. It's like our culture in Grenada. You don't have something, you turn to your neighbor.
mhm,
You get a 2 gram blogger or 2 gram feed, and that's food for you. But out there, everything you have to buy.
1 grain of beef, 1 tomato, 1 plantain. You don't get anything free out there. You have to buy everything.
So it's hard to survive.
But who says after I work here all my months and my time to my holidays and I want to go on holiday, I want to go and relax. Who says I want to go over there and work?
That's a holiday is different, Jester.
But hold on. The thing is, yeah, some family members tell you, okay, come nice, like actually in such a nice way. You understand?
Hmm.
But you can come on holidays, yeah, enjoy your holidays, okay? And you go. You're thinking, well, okay, I can lie down on top of my foot. I've been getting up very, very early in the morning. I have to rush down to St. George's. You need to just kick back and just relax. So, and to come and show me that kind of thing.
But Jester, listen to this.
To go.
I would say this to you. When I went to Canada and I stayed there for a couple of years, and after 7 years I came home and discovered that they expect so much of you when you come back because you have all the money in the world. All of a sudden, the broom and sweeping, the pillow not holding your head anymore, everything. And if you lie down a bit longer, you hear pan beating pop, 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 pop in your head. Get up because everybody here rises early in the morning. And if you decide that you want to slum in your bed, well, slum in the kitchen. It is a cultural thing, I think, that when you come on vacation, that's why people now, even if you have relatives here and you come on vacation, they find themselves at Siesta, La Luna, Coyaba, because you can lie down in your bed as long as you want. You just have to be prepared to have your money to pay the hotel bill and whatever. Because people are tired of people telling them, come on vacation, and when they come, it's a different ballgame.
Yes, it's not a nice thing.
How could it be nice?
Makes somebody feel, I mean, mental strain. It's just too much.
And the other thing, they say when you go on vacation and they walk in and you go and
Cook food, wash clothes, do whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people go on vacation and
They haven't seen anywhere. Yeah.
it's
So this is one aspect of it. What we're going to get into deeper is the more how the countries treat somebody that's an immigrant or somebody that migrated. So we talk about this and you go to hotels and more people, even my daughter, it's not that I'm going to make her see trouble, make her cook or anything. She came the last time. I got visits from her. You understand? She didn't come and stay here. Mom here is boring. Success is boring. You need to go where you can find it. And I said, be my guest. Go where you have to. But she came to visit me. I'm cool with it. I met her in St. George's a couple times. And we hang out. But her choice is to stay at a hotel. And it's not because I will wake her up early. Also because I don't wake her up early when she's home. She's not a morning person. I know she's a night person. So if she's sleeping in the morning, I just go ahead doing my thing as though she's not here. But when you are in someone's house and you tell yourself that I can lie in my bed as long as I want because I'm on vacation, that ain't happening. Tell yourself that is not happening. I had a friend, she came here twice. She's from the Philippines, but we work together. And I said to her, I said, listen, she said, can I want to come home with you? I said, yes, let's go. I said, well, let me warn you. The fridge is there, the stove is there. Do whatever you want to cook. I don't care. She says, really? I said, mm-hmm. I said, because I don't deal with high maintenance people. I have no intention of cooking for nobody when, if I cook, there's food, eat to your heart's content. But don't expect me to come and wake you up, Rose. Breakfast is ready. If I make breakfast, yeah, breakfast. But if you want anything, fridge, though. She came the second time and she says, I've never been anywhere. And, I've been treated like that. I said, I'm unique in my own way, but this is Grenada. I said, we are a very hospitable set of people. So a lot of us, maybe it's changed now that a lot of people are, because they're looking at North American TV and they've seen how North Americans treat people, they start to adapt to different things about how they treat people. But I think if my friend comes, if I invite her to come to Grenada, then I shouldn't ask her for money or ask her for anything to help me. You understand? Because I am the one that's responsible for her coming here to have a good time. The second time she came, I said, no, you're an honorary Grenadian. You know the place. Knock yourself out. She told me, can we go to Carriacou? I said, who? Carriacou. She called it Carriacou. She called it a different name. I said, girl, let me teach her to say it. Carriacou, say it. She said, because she's Filipino, she say it differently. She says, can we go to Carriacou? I said, no, I ain't going. So I don't know if you find friends and they want to take you there. But I'm not going to Carriacou. But you see,
I didn't go for the boat ride.
well, I went to Carriacou once in my whole lifetime. And I think we went up with the big iron boat, not the Osprey. And
With
like,
one of the Alexia.
yeah, I think, and I don't like the feeling of Kikanjini. I don't like it at all. You ain't feeling it on the Osprey? You feel it, but not like I've seen a woman faint. I see a woman throw up, and I'm like, what? And people are saying to this day, people are saying that when they're going to go up to Carriacou on the Osprey, they don't eat before they go up. Because the ride continuum unsettles you. So I'm not going to take the plane and then I'm going to take the boat. Maybe I'll walk on. Maybe just sleep. Maybe I should take a tranquilizer for it, tranquilize me, and when they wake up, just poof, wait up in your wake.
Sleep on that boat easy.
No, I mean take a thingy, Benadryl, make me drowsy so I could sleep.
Okay.
And then when I get there, wake me up and I'll be fine. Maybe that's a good idea. And if Kick and Jimmy swallow the boat, I know.
When we come back, we'll do the same thing again.
No, the ride coming home is easier. I noticed that. Coming home, it's nice and smooth, but it's the going up that have people going. And maybe that little plane again, where I see the pilot touching all this thing in front of it, nada, zilch, no way. So I will go to Carriacou one of these days. So.
But you raise a point about our culture and it's in Grenadians to
Be
be
hospitable.
hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Grenadians travel, they expect the same. Because, it's like when you're home, when you have a visitor, you go all out. So you're looking for that in return. Like when you travel, you expect that in return.
But we-
Some Grenadians
Not-
we remain the same. Some of us remain the same, but not all.
I would say, they say when you're in Rome, you do like the Romans do. So,
But
maybe
if you've never been to Rome, you've never been to Rome. You can do as the Roman do then
uh,
because you've never been to Rome. But I think when you invite someone to your home abroad, explain to them, tell them what they should be expecting. Do not blindside someone and tell them, come in, now you come here. And then you see, we look at people come the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, and they think that all is honky dory with them. And it's not, because they too have to struggle to pay their rent, to buy food, to do everything. So when they come in here, they buy the best clothes to come here because they come to come and impress. But who cares? Because at the same time, when you impress me here and I go over there and I'm looking for that same impression and you don't have it, so we have an issue already. I remember somebody said to me when they came on vacation, they said, oh, I took them to the flea market because on Saturday everybody go to the flea market because you can buy your gold and silver and thing there. And they said, oh, gold is really cheap here. I turned back and I said, really? They said, yeah, gold is cheap. I said, huh, it is cheap because you're on vacation and you came with vacation money so you can buy gold. I said, if you settle here, the same gold is here and you cannot buy it. Because guess what? You have to take care of your priorities first. Your rent, your food, your bills. And before, when years ago, you used to have money at the end of your bills, now you're having bills at the end of your money. You understand? Your money is not stretching far enough to think. So I think you should really educate someone about migrating and when you come to me, what to expect so that you would not be blindsided and you say, well, Claire told me to come and I come and this is how Claire treat me. No. I don't want that at all on my name. So if you're going to come, we're having a conversation. This is what it is. And I'm not asking you for money.
I've got it.
Yes.
You listen to some people's stories.
Yes. They weren't treated nice at all. No.
And a lot of that has happened with family members.
It was the worst. Yes, the worst.
They will tell you that they got better treatment from strangers.
From strangers, I always say blood is not family is not always blood. Always remember that you were born into some people with their blood, but it is not always. They are not always your family because there are people that treat you way better than the family that you were born into.
So that is why people that went out there and really make it, and then they're sending back to their family and loved ones. We really must show deep appreciation because some of these people would have been to hell and back before they established themselves, to such a level that they can be now be in a position that they can send back things home. And it's really not easy. And you hear a number of different stories, Claire. Some you get very emotional about that, what some people went through when they become an immigrant in one's country.
It is, and you're not prepared. Honestly, you're not prepared for what you're going to meet when you get to those countries. Because who tell me that I was going to go clean people's house when I went there, or babysit people's children when I went there? You have your educational background and you think that you're going to do, but even when you have that, it doesn't always open doors for you because you have to revamp your education system to this. So you just do what you have to do to survive, especially if you have responsibilities. You just can't sit on your laurel and say, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. Because if you're not doing this, then you are going to be homeless. And it is not hard to be homeless in any country whatsoever, Jester.
That's it.
You don't have money to pay rent, you have nowhere to live, you have no food, and so homeless is where you become it.
It's not like here. I mean, here, a certain level of leniency can only be extended sometimes, but in this places and them out there, man.
I always tell people we have no homelessness here, because if you're homeless here, it's because you want to be homeless. You choose to, you're drunk and you can go home, or you feel like you did something. But homelessness here, even though your house have hole and people go poke you inside of it, you have somewhere to go to. Over there, I've seen the first time I went to New York and I took Candice to see her grandma. And they picked me up at the airport and I'm driving along. First of all, the cars and it was old cars. And and then you see how it's bored up with that. And you mean myself. I said, why can't I just break down that house? She said to me, are you crazy? I said, what? She says, people live in those places. I said, what do you mean people live in bored up like that? She said, yes. And I'm like, I'm so fortunate where I came from. Because as small as your house was, you had somewhere to live and it wasn't boarded up. You have your curtain flying in your window, your house clean, you flow white as milk, and you think that you didn't have it, but you had it made here and you didn't know until. And that's why I say some of us need to travel to see what it's really like before we condemn what we have.
It's true.
So it says a two-way street. Immigrants' mental health challenges, resilience, and contribution. And the thing is, Jester, when you are an immigrant, you travel to the people's land and you decide, well, come hell or high water, I am going to make it. That's where your resilience comes in because you do the things that you need to do to get where you have to go. And it says it's a two-way thing, and it has mental health challenges, but sometimes you just forget about the mental part of it and you bottle down and you go. It says coping with culture shock and adjustment difficulties is vital to immigrants' mental health. Yet most existing research and interventions are grounded in deficit-centered narrative, which can veil immigrants' unique strength and resilience. We discuss how to optimize immigrants' mental health, mental well-being by leveraging their lived experience and strength via a two-way street approach. It says the rates of international migration have grown steadily over the last few decades. In 2020, an estimated 281 million international migrants were living in countries other than their country of birth, almost doubling the number from 1990. That is most profound. 281 million, Jester. Migrants. That's including me.
See the amount of people that leave certain parts of Africa to cross
Yeah, and some of them don't make it.
the oceans to get to Europe, and so many of them perish.
Yes. Yeah. And it happens all the time. With some dead bodies too. Yeah. And even when they used to do it from Cuba too, they would cross in and half of them don't make it. And it is, and you see, the thing is, it's another reason why it breaks my heart.
It's not easy.
And you know the why? Better life. The Western, the better life, or the thing we think is the better life. Because again, when you are in a different country, or you're in North America, you're in USA, you're in Canada, you're in England, you're in places, and they say this, they think that, okay, we have it better in this country, so I'm going to try to go make life better for me. Sometimes it is not.
I think technology have a great impact.
Yes.
Because the face can let people portray. You say, well, why am I make them happy? This is one of them things nice. So let me try. Let me just take the risk.
I don't know if they are still doing it from Cuba. And that's why I cannot stop talking about the resilience of the Cubans. The 1 week I spent in Cuba, it wasn't enough for me to delve deeply into what the history of Cuba, but based on the historian that was giving us the tour from Veradero to Havana, and based on the history that he spoke about, I take my hat off to these people in Cuba. And it could be us in Grenada too, because you see the thing about it, they don't have much to talk about, but they live there and they make what they have do, in the sense that they get their ration of 9 pounds of beans, 9 pounds of rice, and maybe that's not even enough to last for the month, but this is what they have, and this is what they're going to make do until they get again, or if they have a job and they get US dollars that they can go to the malls and buy stuff. And here's the reason why they ask you for US dollars there, because it goes a longer way. And I'm sitting here thinking, when I came from Cuba, I have a different outlook on life itself. Because even though they're going through this Jester, they're the happy set of people I've seen in a while. You cannot pass them and buenos dias, buenos noches, buenos tardes, and they are happy people. And don't get me wrong, every country has its thing, but what I've seen made me think differently about life. And that's why I keep saying to you, and I've said that before, I am a minimalist. I do not accumulate stuff to say I have this and I have that. This little amount of what I have, I'll make a big impact in my life. Minimalist. Because you have it all, Jester, and you're not happy as the people that have none. And I always say that the children that suffers most in life are the ones that turn out really, really well in life and make it big to do their thing. So when I see people crossing the ocean and losing their life, when if they had stayed in the country, they were still going to be living another day to mend their fields and get their rice. And everywhere, the world is poor as it is, because even in big countries, we have food shortages. Everything is not honky-dory as people think. And when you say technology has done that to us, it is no lie. Because when you see things, and then those fools of us that think that when we're posting on Facebook and we're posting on Instagram and the thing, there are people that look at it and long for what they see and cause themselves to lose themselves when this is happening. I can't take this call right now. I'm sorry, but yeah, they lose themselves into coming to a country to get what it is that they see on TV, and it's all, how do you call it, for false advertisement, and they will sell it so that you can come. And when they come, think about what's going on in the United States right now with ICE and the people that they are arresting to send back to their countries. Think about it that way. They sacrificed everything that they had to come here. They worked, they borrowed money to pay the people on the boats to take them to America. They came to make a better life for themselves, and so they thought. And now that better life has turned into a disaster because they're rounding them up and send them back to countries that not even belonging to them. They're going back.
I somewhat get the impression too that maybe citizens that would have become so in that naturalized way might be
They're going to
they will be going after them.
listen.
I getting that kind of
They
impression.
they're gone too. I think that call seems that it's coming in hot. I don't know who it is, but I can't take it. I'll send a message unless I'll have to take a break and thing. Yes, but you see, the thing is, you cannot, and that is playing in people's life, and that is where PTSD comes in, post-traumatic stress disorder, mental health. Because I've read a story where there's a man, he's in his 60s now. He came to the US from Belize and he worked and sent money to his children, to his family, and everything like that. He was one of ICE thing, you understand?
Huh?
ICE. He went back, not even a family member took him back. A stranger is who took him there. JG says, good morning. A stranger is who took him when the ICE dropped him back in Belize. So even that we are talking about when you go home and you want to stay, even when you have nothing to give them anymore, then you're no longer part of that family. So this is a touchy thing for me this morning, this migration thing.
It's nice.
Believe me, I have not seen trouble when I went to Canada. I have to explain, I have not seen trouble. But there are other things that can affect you mentally in a country than that.
If I just take a break from me.
No. So I'm going to take a quick break because that call is coming in hot on me there and I don't know it.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD content with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. eNoise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. CJ and Jester.
And we are back. So yes, so when we have this thing about migration, it may sound easy that you buy your ticket, you get your visa, and you go in, but no one knows what you're going to meet. We talk about family, we talk about different things that you go to, but it is not an easy thing for you to just pick yourself up and go to a country that you do not know. A country you might have to go do recon. Go to the country first, look at it and see if I want to stay there, and then come back and then go again. Because this is the only way maybe you might tell yourself whether you want to stay on or not. So here it says the most immigrants move for education and labor opportunities or for family reasons. However, many are forced to leave their countries out of safety concerns as refugees, whether by choice or by necessity. Immigrants face a host of socio-economic challenges and stresses during and after migrating, and this can profoundly affect their mental health and quality of life. Mental health is intricately linked to physical health and other key development factors, such as educational achievements, economic participation, poverty, and efforts to promote a safe, resilient, and just society. Despite the United Nations decisions in 2015 to include mental health as a priority within its agenda and the associated Sustainable Development Goals, the most recent Global Burden of Disease study revealed that mental health disorders remain among the leading contributors to the global health burden. In 2019, mental health disorder accounted for 4.9% of the global number of disability adjusted life years and increased from 3.1% in 1990. Studies in Europe suggest that immigrants, including migrants and refugees, are most susceptible to developing mental disorders, example, anxiety, depression, post traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal ideation that non-immigrants face. So this again is they're repeating what it is, how bad it is. And it says, against the backdrop of going to be with the United Nations saying, leave no one behind, this is not happening. And it says, looming mental health challenges for immigrants. Moving to a new country brings a sense of excitement, curiosity, relief, and or hope. However, it can also create a tremendous amount of anxiety and stress as immigrants navigate the new context while leaving behind the familiarity of their homeland. The term culture shock describes the psychological and social impact of feeling out of place, disoriented, or alienated during the cultural adjustment process. For example, listening and speaking in a new language and learning new social norms. Example, engaging in small talk in social situations or addressing professors or supervisors by their first name can be daunting and confusing. Not having access to one familiar food, clothing style, music, books, cultural activities, friends, and families can remind immigrants of the loss they endure on a daily basis. So, cultural shock or cultural adjustment difficulties can also manifest when immigrants interact with the systems of of the receiving society. So, you see, when you migrate, it is not just about you buy a ticket and you take off and you know nothing is going on in with you. You went to culture shock. What you eat, what you wear, how when I used to say good morning to people, they used to say, what's so good about the morning? Huh? Where they get these people a name from? They don't answer you. Some of them don't answer. They just look at you and they go their way. No answer or anything of this sort. Kennedy Callis is listening. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Thank you so much for checking in. See, they don't pay attention to you at all because you are like a ants in the big scheme of things. So when you migrate, do not just take it as oh, I buy my ticket. Yes, you're feeling relief. You're feeling excited that you're going to another country. But when you land in the other country, from immigration go back,
Right. Yes.
you're starting to see trouble.
There. First, our immigration officers might treat us in a particular way. As soon as you, for example, in Barbados, as soon as you reach, it's like you're a terrorist. It's like they'll search through every everything. And then the other thing is the currency. You have to all that to put a strain, a mental strain on you. Because it's like you have to try to convert and you have to know how to spend and what to buy and that could be a big strain.
It is.
Mentally.
Listen, as you know, I am a citizen of Canada. I go home, and once I get to immigration, you still get that uneasy feeling because they could just take you and send you in a room and just strip you naked and do the cavity search as they want to. I think we have a call coming through. Good morning, Lorna B. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Jester. Good morning, Roy.
Morning.
Good morning to you, Lorna.
Good morning. So I wanted to comment on the culture shock aspect of it because I think that's the first thing I experienced when I moved to Canada. And while culture shock is not a clinical illness, but it's just a natural reaction to the challenges of adopting to a new custom, social norms, and way of life. And one of the things I was shocked about was the amount of young people smoking. I just couldn't get over that. I remember I used to be on the subway and just watching school children age and they're smoking. Another thing that I experienced I couldn't get over because I attended school here. And back home, we show this respect to the teacher, professor. We would never call them by name. And yet it was a different environment. Everybody, they were adults, but still, nobody said teacher or miss or mister. I remember there were only two of us in the class. We objected to calling the teacher by the name. And then the teacher went on to explain, well, this is because of our history and everything. So that was a cultural shock for me. Well, how do you cope when you're in a new country? Because sometimes you find yourself having to do things that you never, not bad things, but things that you will never thought that you have to do just to get through life. You know, so you need support. And one of the support that you could find is finding people. I know where we used to live, Claire, there it was, lots of Grenadians living right there. So that was a support system. Another thing is you have to learn about the culture. And maybe even before you travel, you have to learn about the culture.
Yes.
Because you will go through this culture shock. And then you have to be patient with yourself because it will take a while to adjust to the new environment. Right? So it's a struggle when you move to a new country, especially like moving to Canada, you have to get used to the climate. Right? We never experienced winter before, so that's a whole new thing that you have to experience. But in the end, I must say that we
survived.
rise above the struggles.
Yes.
We survived and we made the best of our lives. And looking back, we can be satisfied that we did our best. So, you have to be prepared
That's
if you
it.
decide to travel to another country. So everybody have a good day.
You too. Take care. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye. But you know what was my culture shock? To see so many homeless people in Canada. I was walking on University one night, and I came from some event, and all along the street were homeless men and women, and so here I made myself. I said, wait a minute. I said, what are these people doing there? They're not going home. They said to me, they don't have homes. They're homeless. I'm like, how could they be homeless? A rich country like Canada. You would think that there is there should be no homeless people in there because the country is rich. And this is where you find the most homeless people in those big countries. Because guess what? There's no house that they get free. They're not staying with their mothers until they die, like we do here. Here, if you're home, your mother house is there, you will stay with your mother until cock, as they say, cock make teeth, and you know that ain't happening. You will eat the food, they wash their clothes, they do everything. You're staying here. And you never become homeless here. But over there at 18, Mozion. If you go to college or university, you don't have a room to come back to. They turn your room into the workout gym or the library or something, or they rent it to someone else. So at a very early age there, they know what it's like to be on their own, to look after themselves. Whereas here in the Caribbean, it is maybe changing, but we are sheltered so much that when we go over places like that, we do get culture shock because we do not know, we cannot survive on our own in that sense. And that's why when people are saying about their children, I said, leave them alone. Let them alone. Put a limit on what it is that you want them to look at or to say, but leave them alone because that way they're going to be smart when the time comes for them to do what they have to do. Because we are so sheltered. A lot of things, a lot of the opportunities pass us by because we are so afraid of taking the chance when we migrate. A lot of us that traveled, there are things that we could have done, but because we were like invest, do big investment and so buy a home very early in all, and we're afraid that we couldn't make it. And that's why other cultures, other nations came to it and they went ahead. You look at the Orientals, you look at the Indians, they will stay 20 of them will stay in an apartment in Syria. 20 of them will stay. They work on shift. When that said sleeping, that said go to work. But at the end of the day, each and every one of them own a home. Each and every one of them. Because you see what? They worked together and they knew what their drive was and aim. A lot of us travel, Jester, and when the big light and the bright light and the big city take control of us, we feel that, you know what? I'm making money. Let me spend money and so. Not thinking that this is not your country. They can pick you up any moment and mosey and back to your country. But you see they do now.
Put it right back.
Especially if you commit a crime in a country, whether you're a citizen or not, when the time come and you finish your jail sentence, back home in shackles. What do they call it? Is that shackles they call it? Shackles? Home in shackles you come in because you remember we are naturalized citizens. We are not born there. And even when you migrate to Canada or the US or wherever, I don't know much about you, and you have a child and you commit a crime or whatever, if that child is born there and so they will keep that child, you go back where you come out because the child is a ward of the state. I don't know, that could change now. But this is what it is about migrating. We have to do whatever it takes to know what we're doing, where we're going, and how we're getting and how we're getting out of there when the time comes. Some of us gone, we say we're staying. We don't want to see grenada in a bread if they have to eat it. They don't want to see this. And when they say,
Problem with the system, if you don't travel, electricity is only they come back. The hospital have nothing. The water they come and they go on and on and on and on. And it's the same.
you know what I say to them? People die everywhere. The health system is not perfect. And okay, let's put it that way. We had COVID-19. We have big hospitals. How many thousands and millions of people that died from COVID in the big one compared to what die here and the system that we don't have? Don't get me wrong, the system here is not perfect. It's not sometimes it's not good at all according to who you talk to and where you go and stuff like that. But people die in emergency, waiting in the hallways in the United States and so. Well, what happened? Somebody was calling. Right, let's go. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, CJ, and to the team Take Five.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Not bad, not
Good, good.
just I'm wondering, have you migrated in light of the topic? Because, you know, locally you don't find much of our hosts while the show is on, just nutritiously enjoying and supporting themselves. Okay. But due to this morning's topic, lots of time, one of the shock that hits us a lot, apart from the culture, the cultural aspect of it, is that of the family support and family dynamics.
Mm.
Hence, in my opinion, why most time Caribbean people travel to more international countries, and it has not been meaningful to us because, as you rightly say, CJ, in you look at the other Indian society, and of course, how much of them live in one apartment because they operate on a shift system, how they get their job, and they learn to cohabit. But for we Caribbean people, I want my room, I want my personal space.
Mhm.
You don't contribute to the living environment in which you are in. So the rent to pay, the grocery, the cleaning of the place, the sustenance of it, we don't contribute. And because my name is not on the list, the property is not mine, and you think it's mommy what is there still. So you think mommy has to pick up after you, mommy has to clean after you, mommy has to provide for you. But out there, every club has to sit on your own bottom. We have to pull our resources together. So hence, some of us do not go there and make. And the next thing about it, our self-awareness. So apart from in instances we don't have the family support, because after you make 2, 3 weeks by me, you need to get your own or go back. They encourage you to come, and when you get there, you don't have a job, and you start putting a burden on them.
Mhm.
The other thing is we are copycats. We just like to be seen. We like to be movie stars. So
Mhm.
in light of you want the item with the brand. So you could buy a sneakers that don't even have a name or just an X on it, but no, you want the parts that represent Nike. And when you want the society that makes Nike, they don't even win it for themselves. They have a hula hoop or a push to in the
I don't imagine.
look at the
Yeah.
vehicle.
Mhm.
We over there, and you in Great America where the dollar is 2 point something to your homeland. And instead of you think of saving back home,
Mhm.
no, you want to push the latest car. So in 2023, you're already driving a 25 model.
Yes.
One the latest cell phone,
Mhm.
one the posh jeans, and when you step out, you must be felt and you must be seen.
Mhm.
Those who progress, when they step out, they are clean, they are neat, they
Mhm.
are presentable, but they are not up in the class. And on that culture again, you talk about, one of your callers speak about how we deal with elderly, and we speak of the whole aspect of smoking. But then we go there, and instead of you say, that's not my homeland, come for betterment, greener pasture. And I know I have my flock back home to see for, or I need to prepare for life after retirement or my old age. What we try to do is to mix up with the niceties, quote unquote, of life. So we involve in the partying, we involve in the gentleman's club, for those of us know the title.
Mhm.
We involved in the big eating. And that's why a lot of our top class men suffer with so much joint issues. And
Mm.
everybody say arthritis, but it's rich food of not mixing properly the nutrients, others
Mhm.
have growth and all those things, and everybody watching and dragging. Because we fail to realize why we decided to take that trip, and we lose our purpose. We lost our bearing. And hence it is now, America is saying, you know what, we have to care for our own. Canada is saying it. Europe is saying it. And the Caribbean man who did not make hay while the sun shines is benefiting on the negative side of the dollar now. So there is still room for improvement because there are those of us who have our visas and they're still making the trip, whether it is for education, whether it is for health or whatever. Let us just stop and think and take just 5 minutes. If you don't have 5 minutes, take 5 seconds and ask yourself, what is my purpose being here? Have I fulfilled it? Have I contributed to my homeland? And if I were to be caught, where would my dollars remain? Who knows what to do if I was deported, if I was sent back, if something happened and I cannot do or say? How do I bring about that shift? It's not too late, but we can start having a conversation over a cup of coffee We can have the conversation with just how we use the social media to post everything. We can utilize it. Let us create that scene and let us put the Caribbean. Let us put our homelands at a different dimension. Migration has positivity like every other thing else, but it's what we do also. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Let me tell you something. I just got goosebumps. I don't know if it's the goose or the geese. I just got it because what she said is what, you know, over and over. Somebody wrote a comment here and I got to read it and then I'll make a point. If someone chooses to migrate, they should do so with purpose and not only for the show. Some people migrate and makes no sense that they do, and they might as well stay in their place. When you see some of them in the people country, it's like they see in trouble. It make you think, why did they not just stay in the country and see trouble? That is so true. Point the caller just made about, if you get deported, who knows where your money is? Who know whatever it is? And I think a lot when I lie down on Queen Victoria. And I said to myself, my daughter is in charge of what I have in banks and so. My phones and so she doesn't have my password. And I sat there and I said, when I go back home, I'm giving a password to everything that my name, Claire Josie Francois, is under. That way, if something happens to me here and she comes here, she don't have to go seek to find what it is. She has it. In Canada, she has access to my account, but she doesn't have access to the account numbers. I'm just giving her everything because at the end of the day, if I work hard to save the money that I save or what I make, the government shouldn't have to take it because I have no one to go seek for it for me. I'm giving it to her. I have nothing private on my phone that she cannot see. I'm not a prostitute. I don't have male collars or anything. I don't take naked pictures or anything. So if anything, she get my phone. What she will see is conversation she has with me, pictures of people that I love and people that near and dear to me. That's it. Like the government of Canada said to you, if you're going to the United States now, get a burner phone or get a cheap phone because US immigration has the right now to take your phone and go through it and see all your messages, all your everything, and they could jail you in there for it. They are warning you about that if you're traveling to the United States. I would go to the United States right now and just do whatever. I don't care. Like when they pull me, and they pull me a few times when you're going through immigration in the States, or the computer pull you and say, there's no computer they pull me, they have me flagged already because I used to travel too often from Canada to the US. Well, what's she going to do there and this kind of thing. So then they pull me in and I just go. If you see anything in my body that thing, I didn't put it there, I don't know what happened. Even one of them asked me, they touch my, filling up my boobs on me like that. And oh, there's something hard. And I said, it's a bone in the bra. You want me to take out the bra so I could feel more? She says, oh, no, 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 no. So you see, they do this thing because you go through. And this is when you're in people's country, this is what they do to you. You have no say. And you say something wrong, you ended up in jail eating a bubble. That's what he wanted. So those of us, as you call us, who go to countries and like the person made the comment there, and you don't have anything, nothing. Come back home. It's not. Don't be ashamed. You have your family. You didn't build four posts because maybe you couldn't find it in you to build the four posts, but some family member of yours is going to take you there. Do not stay in other people's country and see trouble. When I left here to go to Canada, I said 10 years. If I don't get myself together in 10 years, I'm coming home. If my grandmother to make me go after that is your business. But within the 10 years, I found that I could make it on my own out there, and I did it. And you have no shame as to what job you do. Once it's legal and you get paid for it. I clean, I do catering, and when you clean, you find all kind of nastiness. And I said to my friend Jenny, the chef, we say to each other, she said, Claire, look, it's not what they're doing to us in the bathroom here. And when people see you have a little something, they want to envy you and jealous you and say, Claire, but they don't know the shit we cleaning inside. And that is exactly what you said to me. I said, yes, but hey, we got to do what we got to do to make it into this country and make it into this life that we want.
Claire, you had some people that went out, they would love to come back home, but they can't.
Because?
Well, they didn't.
You didn't do what it takes.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
all
but
that
then I think it's unfair for someone to leave Grenada, come, say like, okay, I know of a particular person in close to me, 37 years, right? And you're not documented up to this time, right?
You should come
And,
home already.
and you don't have like you walk in and you just get caught up in the system in the life, and you're even thinking to say, well, every month when you send that at $200 chocolate,
Add a room to somebody's house, yes.
and I think every time when I think of it, I just say, I just say, if that cost can be up to $100 smart, I don't make no space and of my comfort to make up for
Because they didn't try.
There's some,
Yeah. I have a message for Spice Ram. You can come in and lodge in my focus anytime. Anytime. Listen, I have no qualms about letting somebody stay with me, just don't nasty. Because I am a perfectionist. I clean, I like to clean and all this kind of thing. And if you want to see me and you get upset, is when you're making a mess in place and you're not cleaning up after. I'm not your mother. I'm not picking up after anybody. You come and you make it clean, walk with it. But you can come anytime, Spice. Anytime. But you see the thing, and that's it. You see, we people, we have an ego in us. Well, pride come before a crash, because that's when you crash is when you're walking around the streets in New York or England or America, wherever, or Canada, dragging yourself. People see you're unkept, and you think just to say, I'm in Canada, or I'm in New York, or I'm in England. No, I would not let that hold me at all to say I am doing it. I'm coming home. This is where I was born and bred. And let me tell you, whatever it is that I accumulate in this life, it didn't come easy for me. I walked my butt off. So when people see me, and they say about a stoosh and a this and that and the other, you do not know my story, do not read it. Don't read it for me, because you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through or how I got there. Because even when you're doing babysitting or you clean or so, you find yourself to school at night to bring yourself up to the level of the country that you're in. You see, I said I started cleaning, then babysitting, then you go to school, and you get a job at customs, so you walk your way up, and I was able to do whatever it is that I wanted to do, because guess what? I am a frugal person when I have to be frugal. Not every time you have money, you have to go there and spend it as though your money is enemy. It have people, as soon as they get the money, they either that pair of jeans, they're gone. You could accumulate 10 pair of jeans and you have nothing. You cannot sell them at the end of the day to get money to do what you have to do. And that's why I could kill my children. Anytime they mess up, I could kill them. Because I did not teach you to be a fool where money is concerned. I said, when you work, that's why they have the bank and the credit union. So save some money. And do not be afraid to take it and spend it when you need to, not when you want to. If you don't need things, do not buy it. Save it, because at the end of the day, they say save for a rainy day. Sometimes some of us save for flood, because sometimes the rainy days come in and it turn into flood. But that doesn't mean that you have to waste money when you have it. Save it. Find ways. And even though you're working for $10 and it's $2, you go save. Every month you save your $2, it accumulates. Be frugal. Do not be a miser, but be frugal. Look after yourself, because if you don't spend for yourself, you wouldn't spend for anybody else. But be frugal about your finances. Let me see, who else again? Some of them are sleeping in their vehicle. That again, was having a conversation, Guru. You know when the navigators came out, the navigators and the aviators, I think is it Ford Aviator or Ford Navigator? Yes, the the big hell of a vehicle. You could sleep in it, you could cook, you could bathe, you could do whatever. When that vehicle came out, I think America had the most of it. I've been to New York and I see line up on the side, and I'm like, I go take my how much $1,000 buy a vehicle and park it on the side of the road if I have a garage and a house to park that in. Some of them had to sleep in a Jester because they didn't have a home. And you buy a vehicle? I'm not showing off like that. I'll sleep in a what? Let me tell you. How minimalist, eh? If I have to sleep in a container right now, those containers that you can fix up these little tiny houses, I could live in one of them comfortable. Because you know why? I don't like material thing make a fuss. I don't make a fuss about it. Because how much clothes can you wear?
How much shoes can you wear? And you have it and you're showing off the shoes and the thing. You could only push two, one left and right in one at one time. So that's the reason why a lot of our shoes dry rot and our clothes, little lizard, do whatever on it, because you see, we don't have enough time to wear the amount of clothes that we have. And when you migrate, and that's another thing we do, when we migrate and we see things that look a little bit not cheap, inexpensive, we knock ourselves out. We buy all kinds of clothes and it's stand up and you're watching it.
Especially when sales.
If it is sales, let me put it that way for you, and you do not pay for it fully, it is not sale. Because if you use your credit card to buy it and you do not pay for it outright, the interest alone is going to kill you. It is not sale. So sometimes you talk to your clothes and you talk to it and you say, do I need it? Do I want it? I had conversation with clothes a lot of time and I want it and I just leave the people clothes and I go about my business. My philosophy in life is do not buy cheap stuff, buy good stuff cheap. End of story. So I don't have to owe anybody for it after. But when we migrate, we do that. So it says, talking about migration again, a person with sore throat who would walk down the street to find his family doctor for an immediate appointment in his home country might now have to maneuver an automated scheduling system with seemingly endless options for dates and locations, only to secure an available appointment 3 weeks away. An experienced engineer who cannot find work commensurate with her education and training because her previous credentials are not recognized in the new country might have to hold menial jobs to keep her finances afloat. Parents who have yet to familiarize themselves with the customs and the education values of the receiving country might be hesitant to communicate with the teachers of their children or get involved in school activities for fear of embarrassment. On a micro level, immigrants encounter structural barriers, example, I can say that word, inequitable hiring or housing policy due to prejudice, stigmatization, and overt or covert discrimination that can further obstruct their opportunities, mobility, and social integration. Even those who have achieved enormous economic or professional success might still be subjected to stereotypes or treated as a token representation of diversity. Although the success is a sort of source of pride, it can also be a painful reminder that immigrants are seen as perpetual foreigners or the others whose worldviews and lived experiences diverge from the normative framework of the receiving culture. The challenges associated with immigration and cultural adjustment, coupled with pre-migration conditions such as history of trauma and post-immigration circumstances, including changes in social support networks, can exacerbate existing mental health concerns or elevate migrants' vulnerability to new ones. So you see what we face? All of these things that they're saying me. So me now, I could go by Dr. Joseph, I could go by Dr. Felix, or just walk down to the complex there when a doctor is attending and get a thing for free. Now I go to Canada, and that happened to me. I was looking for a doctor. I couldn't get a doctor. Somebody said to me, there are doctors at St. Clair and Rogers. Go check this. So I walked in there. I asked to see a doctor. Because you have to have your money too. They said they recommend me or they refer me to one doctor called Dr. Samji, which I have up to this day. He said to me, where are you from? I said, Grenada. He says, how long you've been here? I told him a few months. He asked me what's my problem. I said, I don't know if I have a problem. I just came because I need to get checked up to see if everything. Oh, I had to go to the schools to do early childhood to look after children, and you had to get your vaccines and so up to date to this. So I said, this is what I came for. And he said to me, do you have OHIP? And I said, no, I do not have OHIP. He said to me, I know a lawyer in Grenada named Bernardine. We are friends. And you're from Grenada. I am going to treat you until you get yourself together. And for that gratitude, I could have gone to any other doctors, wherever. Wherever Dr. Samji was, I traveled with him because he did not look down at me when I came to say, well, you don't have money, I'm not going to look after you. He did free for a whole year until I got my stuff together. And for that, I will always be indebted to Dr. Sanji for looking after me when I went there as an immigrant. My children goes to him. My friends and everybody goes to Dr. Sanji. He came from Kenya. So he too know what it's like to migrate to Canada and have to go through the systemic things. What we go through, the stigmatization of knowing that he is a doctor and he has to go through that what do you call it? Revamp your thingy here to act as a doctor. I know of doctors in Toronto that clean the buildings because they couldn't from Bolivia and places because they're not going to give them the certification or to be who they are as gynecologists and they have their thing, but they do not do it in Canada to give them the thing because when again you are not a white person in the countries that you're going, it is hard as you put migrants. We all immigrate. So it is not an easy thing. Comment. Because I'm getting goosebumps, I'm getting upset. So comment and see what you guys have to comment and say. Because it is, according to Bourgeois, again, I'm saying it is not an easy road. And you know the funny thing, some of us here, Jester, we could make it here, you know. Staying here, we could make it. But we always feel that the grass is greener on the other side. All we have to do is to stay here and wet our grass.
But I know of some people that would have left here, leaving their good jobs here, went over there and they regretted it. Yeah, they regretted it.
Some look, I'm sure you know this story. Some of the teachers that taught us in RC school and so, when they go to the US, who work in bakery, who work as security guard, and a lot of them still are working as security because this is what they could get to sustain themselves. Yes, and who they exactly. You don't just stay stagnant because this is what it is. You move along, you enhance yourself, you do things to make it to be different. Some of us we couldn't even care less. You know, you're making a few dollars. That's it. You don't want to go and bust your brain to do anything else. But the most important thing is that you're working to look after yourself. And as the caller says earlier, when we go somewhere after 3 weeks or 3 months, I want my own place. I want to pay my own and to close my door and so. The Indians closing their door, they're closing one door with 20 of them inside there.
When they buy boots, all of them put them together, creating this one big ball.
Yes.
But in here,
everybody wants to go.
For this.
Yes. What, look, I always say that. Sometimes you look at the Indian people walking the women, and they will have a shoes, and behind them the shoes going plop, plop, plop. One shoes. But they buy the biggest one for the biggest food, and everybody food going inside it until they could buy the good shoes. That one shoe serving that whole family, that all the women in the family, he flopping like flip flop. You understand? And as the caller says again, sometimes you want to buy a running shoes. You will look for the Nike, the Puma, the what again? I wear New Balance.
Yes.
Adidas. I wear New Balance because it is soft inside for my foot when I have to beat the pavement. It is not a brand name shoes to say Nike with the check mark or the Puma with the Puma on it and all this kind of thing. No. But when they ask you for one, they ask you for the brand name. Brand name doesn't mean squat because guess what? They make all of them in the same factory and they just put different labels on it. So my New Balance could have been a Puma or a thingy. You understand? We have to, especially when we migrate to other people's country, we have to learn to be content and not just think that, okay, I must get a Puma or I must get a pair of Guess jeans. Your 2 legs are going in it just as they are going in the other jeans and them. 2 legs, a zip or buttons, and that's it. People don't care. Like I was always say, if people see me when I buy here or present, they're thinking, well, wait, no, nobody will pay a penny for. I benefit me and me, I do as I want. Because I'm home. And when I put on my clothes to go outside there, it is clean. And that's what's important to me. It's clean and nobody cannot say, take it out on you because I borrow it to you. You understand? It is clean. And if we do not get to that level where we accept who we are, we'll always see trouble in people's country. And when they're ready to send you back, you're doing the walk of shame from the place with the, how they call it in your foot? Shackles. In your foot and the handcuff in your hand.
I understand some of our men, like, okay, they may have people that come on vacation, ladies, whether it be white or black,
Oh,
they started
yes.
friending with them,
Mhm.
develop a relationship, and before you know it, they carry them back up to London with them. And I understand some of these men and them,
The vagrant on the side of the road right now, don't like to
some
say
of
it.
them, they see good
This
trouble.
not good trouble, bad trouble
They,
too.
they understand that some of the women not taking them anywhere, it's just home they are.
Well, okay, let's put it that way, Jester. If I come on vacation and I see you and I say, you look as a a potential candidate, I spend my money and get you to come to England. Most of us it take place in England and Switzerland and them places and them. And I get you to England and I bring you home. You want my food, you want my electricity, and things in England is not as it is in Canada, and so that you pay one bill, you have to pay a different thing for different thing. And then you go out there and you find somebody else, lock your backside inside the house. I'll let you know when I'm going outside, you're going outside with me. Because once you get out, you're gone. And that happens to a lot of people. They just wanted the opportunity to get somewhere. And when they get there, the person that took them there, they forget about them and they go about their business. So I could understand why they aren't for us.
Fish women and them look just like they desperate.
Yes, well, desperate because desperate women will do that for sure. They're desperate.
And they look at some of the condition is like,
You have to take a hose and wash them when you bring them go because you see the thing about it, you know what they're doing, you know.
no,
They do that so that other people wouldn't watch them. But the water in England and the thing, once you start bathing, your skin start getting nice. You want to get refreshed. But you see, and that's the thing. They get none as well desperate because of the life that they live in the place. They cannot get somebody good to be there to with them. So they come to the Caribbean. They do how they got the fish for. They when they catch the bait, they go with them and that's it. But they don't hold them for long either because the bad habits are coming out. You just see me on vacation. You don't know who I am, what I'm capable of doing. And when I start to do it, you're getting upset. You pelt me outside. Move. But pelt me back when you pick me up. That's all I'm asking. So, Jester, if you're one of those that when people come out overseas,
They stop you in the track one time, same time.
don't. Begging, don't. So, yes. So, here this says immigrants' mental health, a story half told. Given these challenges, it is not surprising that decades of immigrant related research and mental health interventions have focused on uncovering the stress and vulnerabilities facing immigrants at both the individual, which is pre-migration trauma, and structural, which is lack of accessible societal care levels. These research and interventions have led to timely treatment of ameliorate pathological outcomes, example, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. However, although important, this narrative is grounded in a deficit framework, identifying what is wrong or lacking within the person or the community rather than seeing what is right or going well. Such a deficit centered narrative has several major shortcomings. First, by focusing on immigrants' vulnerabilities and struggles, this deficit centered narrative eclipses the unique strength and resilience that immigrants do possess, such as their multilingual and multicultural competence, strong psychological and social connections to their cultural groups, and character strengths, such as persistence that have enabled them to overcome adversity and to thrive. For example, a deficit oriented perceptive might see an immigrant student who does not fluently speak the language of the receiving country as a problem to be fixed, thereby prompting remedial intervention such as pull-out teachings to correct the student's language deficiencies. Although potentially beneficial, this type of intervention does not gauge the student's full academic potential and negates the value of the linguistic and cultural repertoire that the student could bring to enrich the classroom discussions and promote intellectual engagement. What underlies such a remedial service is the implicit assumption that immigrants' language and culture are a liability rather than an asset to their receiving country. And that is so, so true. I remember when I was working at trade show, One lady called in reference to a shipment, and one of the coordinator there, I said to her, Maria just called. She says, who? I said, Maria. She says, who? I said, Maria just called to think. She says, oh, you mean Maria? And I'm like, didn't you understand the first time I said you know? So they change it to make it to suit what they want to hear instead of embracing it as a cultural exchange. Because you and I could be sitting here and we chatting about our culture and everything like that. We understand each other. They are in La La Land and they want to be a part of the conversation and they can't understand. So they change how we say things, the way we pronounce it to fit them. And we let them. We let them.
But we do it here because if you look at it, most of the Grenadians so many Jamaicans and they even set foot in Jamaica or Trinidadians.
You understand? That's quite true, you know, right?
It's true,
Yeah.
you're right. They listen to it on YouTube and me I go me ad. What me I go me ad mean? I'm going to my home, you know? But yes, but you know, right now, if you're right about that, because right now, if you hear Grenadians speak, you're not quite sure if they come from Grenada. Before, when I hear Grenadian in Toronto, I say, oh, that's my people. But now my people has changed their repertoire.
Even the young children coming up. You want any of the children and travel with the children, like they just listening to like looking at the tablets and they're just listening to the language and it's like with children
Go say
they
children,
to English.
your daughter. Don't say it. Your daughter is like that. And I know a little boy that speaks perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect. It's like I remember I was at his aunt's house and he came and there was this string blind and and he said it's all perfectly done now. And I'm like, she gonna kill me. But he came one day and he said he's hungry. Can you make me porridge? She said, what? Porridge, Tanti, porridge. She said, what? I said, he says porridge. She said, well, I don't have porridge. She said, you can cook it. The fine language in which he says it. You know, you just, when you're in awe of each other, and like I say, they can look at the devices, they can learn a lot from it, and it can spoil them. You as a parent has to know what you're letting your children watch and what they listen.
Yep.
Because they have Dora the Explorer. And children are exploring in their minds based on what they see Dora the Explorer do. Because she's traveling. And the thing is, her parents letting Dora travel around the world without them. And that's why a lot of children go missing these days in Grenada now. And the police put out, we're missing that person. They are missing. They know where they're gone. They're not even. They're missing. They're giving police all kind of trouble to go and find them. And so, because they're watching on social media, on national TV, how they could just leave their parents at the age of 10 and go and hang out with their friends. And the parents, oh, I'm back, mom. How was your trip? Not disciplining them in no way or form. We are doing this here now. As the caller said before about the smoking, Alana said about the smoking. We didn't used to, my grandmother used to smoke tobacco. She used to smoke a pipe. Sometimes they bring the pipe with the tobacco. You go anything you light it for, you bring it. I've never smoked it in my life. To say I smoke and I want to be with the in crowd, so I smoke. No, because I didn't grow up smoking. Now you see the young girls with a cigarette longer than the head. Cigarette long as ever, and they're smoking. And what they don't realize, when you watch the tip of your finger and the lip, it's either you have a smoke mark, e white, e red, e black, e. This is what you're doing to yourself. It's not healthy. And who said that you have to follow what you're seeing on TV to be in the in crowd? To them, they didn't take a plane and go anywhere. No. They just migrate in the mind. And mind migration, I think, is the worst. Because you're not seeing what they're thinking. They just think it and then they make it happen.
Yeah, look at the migration in mind for real because look at the Jester movie, right? Look at as though it was like the same thing you're seeing on the block in America, the same thing you're seeing on the block here.
And they want it yesterday. They sit in America tomorrow and they want it here yesterday.
I believe when you leave your country to go, especially if you're going out in this international country, you should go out in with a purpose, with an aim.
With an aim, yes.
Objective, not to fulfill, and then, you come back to your country at some point in time.
It's just that they didn't have an aim here.
Exactly. Exactly. They don't even have an aim here because let me tell you, you look around at that here, and contractors are clamoring for people to come and work with them. And most of them sit on the block. And if you don't pay them, and you have to pay them up front and then come in and do your job. You pay them halfway, they buy what they have to buy, and they're not coming and do your job. So when you see this, you think they're not doing it here. They want to do it, or they might do it by force because they will be homeless. And if they don't like it, they jump the plane and they come back home and they sit on the block again. But if you do not have a purpose in life, what's going to happen? And when you get the purpose in life and you do what you do, and then they come now and they want to shoot you down, they want to tell people, I'm going to beat you down because you made it. You could stay here and make it right as how a lot of us have traveled and made it.
No number of people that stay there and live.
Well, yes, yes.
Because
They had the mind and they had the aim. This is what they want to do. And they did it. And I'm not against anybody for traveling. It teaches you experience. It teaches you how to do things differently in your life. Because some of the things that we do here, we cannot do it in other people's country. And some of us travel and we had to adapt to what they wanted us to do. And you come back here and you fall right back as though you didn't make any progress at all in your life. You could stay here and do a lot of things, as well as you could go over there and do a lot of things to come back to your place. I never left here with the intention of staying in anybody's country. I always wanted to come back home because this is where I was born. This is where I was bred. My son left when he was 9, and he still want to come home because all I talk about is home. They're here home until they must be stupid for themselves. It's home. And as soon as I got the opportunity and I speak to them and I said, hey, I am moseying out today. I'm going home. Are you guys going to be good? They're going to be, I'm home. You understand? But those of us who go, and here's another thing. You go into people's country. You never had a birthday celebration in your life growing up here. Every year you have a birthday, big bash. You understand? You went a hall. You went a DJ. You buy all this food. That $1,000 that you spend every year, you could have invested it in yourself. By the next year, you may have 2 or 5 grand from that one, depends on where you invest it. You understand? But no, I have to have the big birthday party and invite everybody. And when they come, oh, that was a wicked birthday party. All of them have their money in their pockets and their house to go in. And they encourage you. So what we doing next year? They're coming back again. And you're like a fool. You sit down there and you're making birthday party like crazy. You never had one in life. That doesn't change as you're getting older, even though you make a party.
Yeah, because for example, somebody was speaking in Jersey last Sunday and they look at the Ramdani man that died. Would say actually the funeral was like a private funeral, right?
And he has money.
And these are people who will 99 happy.
Yes. Like I tell them, give me my happy hour right by here. So that's why I'm happy here. Nobody can come in and tell thing about happy hour this because I'm going to be cremated. I have my urn ready. Anytime I pass out, Candice know the urn there, put my ashes in it like, or whoever going to take it. They might not take it, but cremate me. Because I don't see the need of spending 20 grand to put me down in a hole in a box when my children and my grandchildren who could use that money to further themselves in their life. You understand? Do that. So when we migrate in people's country, people, know that, hear that, listen to that. You go for a reason, you go for a purpose, work towards it. We have 6 minutes, and here's the next one. The second, a deficit-centered narrative tells an incomplete story. Exposure to the stresses of immigration and culture adjustment does not necessarily increase the risk of developing mental health problems. Numerous studies have shown that new immigrants, in spite of their socio-economic disadvantage, tend to have better physical and psychological health than their native-born counterparts. The phenomenon, that is the word, right? Phenomenon is termed the immigrant paradox or the healthy migrant effect. A recent large-scale national representative study in the US provided especially compelling evidence supporting the protective effect of foreign births on the risk of mental disorders. Compared with their US-born peers, Immigrants exhibited lower rates of depression, anxiety, and trauma related disorders and were less likely to report a family history of mental disorders. The pattern was consistent across gender, age, ethnicity, and income levels. Finally, this narrative reinforces and perpetuates the negative stereotypes and stigmatization of immigrants. For study have shown that immigrants are frequently framed in media as being prone to violence and crime despite strong contradicting evidence. This type of rhetoric can reinforce the perception that immigrants are mentally unstable or dangerous, heightening the public's fear that immigrants will become a burden or a threat to the values and interests of the receiving society. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You see, exactly. And you see in the United States now, ICE is picking up all the Hispanics, the people from the Caribbean, and so because the president has deemed them to be violent people. And some of us are the nicest set of people you can find in neighborhood, but because the color of your skin, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself poses a threat to them, so they put you down as dangerous and I don't think it have more dangerous people than the people that who do white collar crime.
Caucasian men.
Yes, they're petting you nicely, they love you, and then they hold you in your throat and they squeeze the life out of you. And then they bury you somewhere, and then the first call they make, my wife is missing. I'm sending all the text messages, it's being read, but we can't find her. You know you kill her and you put her somewhere. Forensic. You understand? So when people are looking at us as being the people we violent and so, not every nation on earth has the ins and outs, the ups and downs of what happens. But they label us, they stereotype us as a violent kind. And if you are in countries that you know you have your young men and young women, speak to them. Don't let them fall into that pit where they tell you that, you believe that, and you work on it. You are better than that. Do what you know is right. Your parents didn't raise you to be a fool to go to other people's country and make them shame or make yourself shame that you cannot leave the country and come home on the airport, MBIA, walking free with your rollaway and your backpack instead of coming in shackles in your foot and handcuff in your hand. Don't do that. Do better. We have our last words coming up. It is 2 minutes to the hour of 12. Speak.
But if you look at the news and you look at crime, the first thing that comes to mind, African American.
Yeah.
You know,
And sometimes it's not true.
and that is the thing. And you know, sometimes young people have to be fearful because of their color.
Or they wear a hoodie. Once you have a hoodie, you are hoodlum, you know. That's what they think. Look at that guy, the Peterson guy, that killed his pregnant wife. He gave the perfect description of a black man. And that was not true at all, at all, at all. So they frame black people all the time when they commit the heinous crime.
Yeah. Why couldn't you have said that a white person?
No, because they have us as the dangerous kind as it is already.
But the thing about it is, people are you're hearing about what's happening out there, and you're still going and joining. You live in your country, and you're going to, now in the next man country, and you're going to join.
Because they want to be a star, they want to be known, they want to be felt. And that's what it is. I'm telling anybody, my children, boy or well as girl, take this stuff, I'm gonna go in for them, you know. They jailing me one time.
So let me take the opportunity to say thank you so very much again to our Take 5 audience, viewing and listeners for yet another Tuesday. It was an interesting conversation, and I look forward to being with them next week, Tuesday, God's will.
So do I. Thank you so very much. And always remember to share the link. We're not here to view us, and so we're here to educate. So the more people that you send the link to, they will be educated as much as us. Because when you call and make your comments, we learn from it just the same as when we say things and you learn from it. Charles, Alexander, speak. Oh, you speak already? Thank you so very much. So Jester, you get smoothie. So you know what that means, yeah?
to dance.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
We're dancing. Oh, gosh.
Because
All right, join the dance.
Oh, wake up, it's a brand new day. Got some things I need to say. Feeling heavy, you're not alone. Come take 5, you're in the zone. Voices come, hearts that care. Two good friends always there. The sunlight in your mind, peace enough, you're sure to find.
Choir.
I'll take back the CJ Jester. Talking truth, in fashion. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon, we're holding space just for you. Take your breath, take your time. We're here to feel your mind.
But I really love that.
Take your not alone. See, they're just gonna bring you home. It's okay not to be okay. Let's talk it out, don't drift away. Mental health, it matters most, so come in close and raise a toast to the ones who fight each day, to the silent words they never say. You're strong, you're seen, you're truly heard. Got your back, you got our word. Oh, take 5 with CJ and Jester. Talking truth and lifting pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon, we're holding space just for you. Take your, take your time. We're here to make your mind. Take 5, you're not alone. See, and Jester bring you home. We laugh, we cry, we share the ride. No judgment here, just love and light. You've got a place right here to stay. So take 5 and heal today.
Bye.
Take 5 with CJ and Jester. Talking truth and lifting pressure. Every Tuesday, 10 to noon. Big space just for you.
Jester, someone wants to know what you wonder. I wonder what Jester celebrating with that dance. What you celebrating? You get smoothie. You get if you can get smoothie, you're not dancing. That's
I don't get smoothie, I don't dance in that my energy.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so very much. See you on next Tuesday, God's will.